Hey guys, what's going on today? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Welcome back to another Love for the Game video. Today's video is going to be our projections video. Now, this one is a popular one in our group, but you're probably asking yourself, what's a projections video? So in this case, it starts with the draft. You have to have the draft first, which we did in our last video. So if you want to go check that out, it's in the playlist over here. Second, once the draft is finished, I take the draft results and put them into this little site. And this site generates a scoring table. So if you're picturing it, on the left side, from top to bottom is the team name. And then on the top, from left to right, is the number of weeks across. So 17 weeks in this case. And then it puts it in and generates a weekly score every single week. So somebody could have 125 points one week and then have 130 next week, etc., etc. And then once that is done, I go through and hand do it myself, but I create the standings. I create standings based on our divisions, and go through basically one by one each game and tally up the wins and losses. And then I put it together, reseed it to where it's like, okay, like see who's the number 1 seed all the way down to number 12 seed. And then I put them in a playoff. We have a 6-team playoff for the championship bracket and a 6-team playoff for the consolation bracket. I put those guys into there, and based on going by scores for those weeks, determine a predictions champion. We say predictions champion. Then basically once I determine that from who the champion is, basically all the way from first place all the way to 12th place, that actually sets up our power rankings. So without further ado, let's get started here. Okay. By the way my divisions go in this league, for those who don't know, it goes by points scored. So the top score all the way to like the least scored, basically. So the first three would be the top 3 scores will be in the first division, second 3 will be in the second, third, or fourth, etc. Okay, self-explanatory. It's pretty easy. Then, all right, let's get started. Let's see who finished where. So in this little graph here, the divisions go from left to right. So, and you got the logos right here. So in this case, Brock Hard would be 9-5, followed by it's a Jared Goff themed team at 6-8, and then Burrow the W also at 6-8. In the second division, we have Game Over for You at 10-6, followed by the Njoku's on You at 8-6, and Bear Down at 7-7. In the third division, we have Pancakes leading the way at 10-6, followed by the Gritty Fly for a Vike guy at 7-7, and then another Jared Goff themed team at 5-9, but she's an Eagles fan. So there you go, hence the Eagle. Then in the fourth division, we have a guy who's a Packers fan. He's 6-8. It's like Story Escape, but I put down here for the Packers, touchdown Packers, basically 6-8. We got Bird Abides, it's 5-9. And Injury Prone also at 5-9. Now, to determine the seeds in this, it's also a tiebreaker. Tiebreaker, like of course, like the best record, goes by divisions. Okay, to make the playoffs, again, six teams, and the championship bracket 6 teams. So, first two would get the bye, and there's it's also based on division winner. So if you get a division winner, you automatically get a playoff spot and then 2 wild card spots. So in this case, tiebreakers, I forgot to mention, tiebreakers also go by the mean. Okay, in this table that I put the results in, it's a scoring table. It also determines the mean or average of the points scored. So instead of like tallying up all those points, like 152 plus 115 plus blah, 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 that's a lot of numbers to calculate and it takes a lot of time. However, using the mean, I could just be like, okay, this person averaged, like, out of all the score, they averaged 126 points a game. So this kind of helps with determining the tiebreakers. So in this case, we got two teams that are 10-6 fighting over the number one seed. If you look at the table, it's they're looking at the table here. It's by about 2 points that Game Over For You edges out the Pancakes. So Game Over For You has the number one seed. Pancakes has the number two seed. The number 3 seed would be Brock Hard at 9-5, and then the number 4 seed would be the Packers team at 6-8. Next, the wild card spots. We do have an 8-6 at the Njoku's on you, and then a tiebreaker between Bear Down and Gritty Fly for a Vike Guy at the 6th seed. But if you look at the tiebreaker score here, the tiebreaker score is Bear Down by 4 points, a little over 4 points, over Gritty Fly for Vike Guy. So he would get the 6th seed. Then the 7th seed would be Gritty Fly for a Vike Guy. We do have 2 that are at the 6 and 8 back here. And in this tiebreaker form here, the golf theme team edges out the Burrow theme team by like a 1.5 or something like that. So that would put the golf here at 6 and 8. That's the 8th seed, and the Burrow at the 9th seed. And then the last 3, we got 3, 5, and 9s. Looking at the points, ahead by 10 points, basically like ahead by it's really like 9.1. But is the golf theme team, the Eagle golf theme team here at 5 and 9. So she would have the 10th seed. And then Bird Abides has a, it's actually, these two are really, really close. It's like 121.49 and like 121.22. So it's like, it's close. So that leaves Bird Abides 11th seed, injury prone at the 12th seed. Now, I'll go ahead, reseed that, and come up with the little matchups here to start the playoffs. So, give me a second here. Okay, we're back here. So we do have some upsets here, but let's go down the list to see who plays who. Okay, Brock Hard ended up defeating Bear Down here, 129.16. To 122.45. And then first, it's not really upset, but upset technically. Our 5 seed defeated our 4 seed, or our Njoku's on you defeats our Packers team here. It was 123.35 to 118.71. So they move on to the second round here. And then in our consolation bracket here, we had an upset for the number 12 seed, injury prone, defeating Burrow the W, 121.61 to 112.33. And then our, excuse me here, our 10 seed defeated our 11th seed here, 119.56 to 118.76. So those guys will be moving on to the next round, and in the champions bracket will battle for 5th place, and the bottoms will battle for 11th place. So I get that situated, and be right back. Okay, and we're back. Forgot to mention last video what the matchups were. The matchups, we go off reseed. So if the lower seed wins, they play like or if the higher seed wins, they have to play like the 1 seed. So in this case, the number 5 seed won, he'd have to play the 1 seed. So it would have been Game Over For You, taking on Njoku's on you, and then it would have been Pancakes taking on Brock Hard on the top bracket. It would be Bear Down against the Packers team there. And then for the consolation bracket, it would be injury prone against Gritty Fly for Vike Guy. It'd be the two Golfs teams basically facing it off. And then it would be Burrow basically taking on Bird Abides. And now, so that's the matchup sit. Here we go. As you can see on the right hand side, I'll just go backwards from right to left here. They're for right up and then left up, basically. So in this case, for 11th place, we had, excuse me here, for 11th place, we had Bird Abides defeating Burrow here. I'm gonna find it here. 123.16 to 118.99. Okay, so Josh in this case would get, or Bird Abides in this case would get 11th place. Then in our 5th place game, actually no, yeah, in our 5th place game, we had Bear Down defeat the Packers team here. 121 even to 107, or excuse me here, to 107.92. And then for the other for the semis, basically in both of them, we had the one golf team with the Lions. I'm not going to repeat the golf team names. I don't like saying them. But it's just basically the one with the claw defeat the one with the eagle. 125.02 to 119.25. Okay. Now, and then in another upset, the number 12 seed, Injury Prone, defeats the number 7 seed in Gritty Fly for Vike Guy. 120.79 to 109.27. And then in our championship bracket, we had Game Over for You defeating Najoku's on You, 117 even to 115.72. And then on our other matchup, we had Brock Hard beating Pancakes, 128.48 to 123.53. All right, so that puts the matchups basically as the finals, the last week of the season for this. Is that Game Over for You will take on Brock Hard for first place. The Najoku's on You takes on Pancakes, or takes on, in this case I call them Pancakes, but takes on Pancakes for third place. The one golf team will take on Injury Prone. The Claude golf team takes on Injury Prone for 7th place. And then Gritty Fly takes on the other golf one with the Eagle for 9th place. So I'll get those switched over and go from there. Okay, and then for our championship week, from top to bottom, we had for 9th place, we had Gritty Fly for Vike Guy defeats the Eagles golf team. 122.83. Actually, sorry about that. 124.45 to 117.46. So they would take 9th place as well. So Gritty Fly gets 9th place. And then for 7th place, we had Injury Prone again beat the Claude golf team. 125.01 to 119.02 for 7th. For 3rd place, we had Pancakes defeat the Najoku's on You. Excuse me here. 115.79 to 110.36. And then in our championship, it would be Game Over for You defeating Rock Hard, 119.72 to 117.69. Okay, so the new power rankings will be as follows.